with your host, David Magid, and Benoy and you might know me from the Solar Maverick podcast. You give us 5 minutes, we give you the latest clean energy trends. Dave and I have been really busy with New York City Climate Week, which has been really eventful. There's been a lot of events and a lot of excitement. We've been attending a lot of renewable energy events, and Dave will talk about some of his experiences at Climate Week. I thought it was interesting. The Washington Post came with an article today, actually, and today it's September 25th, 2025, about how the Trump administration shifting U.S. energy policy away from solar, saying that solar is unreliable, expensive, and unable to fully replace fossil fuels. Some of the things that the administration has rolled back, which were solar friendly policies, was cutting or limiting solar tax credits, specifically the investment tax credits, restricting solar projects on federal lands, imposing tariffs and trade barriers on solar equipment and imports. They're saying that potentially Wood Mackenzie, which is a really well established energy research firm, that these changes could reduce U.S. solar installations by as much as 18% over the next 5 years. What's interesting is the U.S. is an outlier on the global energy transition. While the US is trying to get away from renewables, China, Europe, and other major economies continue to invest heavily in renewables. So it's an interesting thing that's happening. And part of how incentives are getting impacted is with the investment tax credit. The investment tax credit is actually going to be, phased down over time for solar projects. And then there's basically safe harboring rules, but also there's what they call FEOC, which is foreign entities of concern that, it can't be owned, sorry, the companies that own the, specifically when we talk about solar panels, it can't be coming from China or a lot of the supply chain from China. The FEOC rules are supposed to be applied in 2026. We were supposed to receive guidance on FEOC on July 7th from the executive order when but there hasn't been, any guidance yet, which is a big concern within the renewable energy industry. Obviously people are working aggressively to get projects, online this year and safe harboring, but there's still the risk that we have no idea what FEOC is going to be. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And that's that.
Benoy, thank you so much. It's always fascinating to be able to stay up to tune with how fast this market is moving with all these policy changes. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly things are moving and the industry is adapting. And we were both at RE Plus, and there's excitement with the industry and everyone's adapting
Without a
to
doubt.
new
And it was a
things.
pleasure seeing you at Climate Week this week too.
Yeah, definitely. We saw each other late last night at Jigger Shaw's birthday party, who was the head of the DOE loan department under the Biden administration and founder of Sun Edison and the modern day solar PPA.
I think you almost got them all.
Yeah, seriously.
So absolute pleasure, following along some of the themes that the Maverick had just shared with us is in regards to some sad news as we've been seeing some of the turbulence occurring. Blue Ridge Power, which is an entity owned by Pine Gate Renewables, has laid off 500 plus folks. This is the EPC arm of the Pine Gate Renewables. We've unfortunately seen a lot of the challenges that have been occurring. We hope the best. Everyone is able to navigate through this. These are a lot of individuals, a lot of folks. Market is really adapting. Hang tight. Make sure you guys are innovating through these challenging times. That said, as I was spending the time through Climate Week, I was able to speak to some recruiters, and through the chit chatter, some of the jobs and career paths, that they are still seeing an uplift in is structured finance. A lot of deal making is still occurring through here. So that trend has definitely taken place. This is obvious, but the EV aspect and job market has been depleting, which you could expect, from the changes that are occurring in the market. Fast forward throughout the week, in Climate Week, as we're going through here, We were able to identify the Atlantic Council, their nuclear policy summit, very interesting. Fellow over at Guggenheim had just made it crystal clear. Power pricing are going no place but up, absolutely nowhere else. So this is something that everyone knows. There's no time soon where power pricing is going down. Very interesting trend. We haven't seen this in a very long time. So all of us in the energy industry are very excited to be able to capitalize on this and take advantage and see the innovation in energy technology. The DOE, was able to describe their loan program in regards to nuclear power, and one of the biggest components for nuclear power plants through the DOE, where they do have a very nice track history of deploying these loans for nuclear, is managing risk during the construction. There is a lot of risk and a precedent of these projects being abandoned, literally abandoned during construction. So DOE, when they're doing these types of facilities, they are looking for these sponsors to have more skin in the game. These are not your traditional non-recourse project finance, facilities. They're looking for some sort of recourse, maybe not full, but they want to make sure that at the same time it hurts and that these facilities are not being left there. This money is not being given away. This is the loan program. That being said, fast forward to later in the day, the nuclear symposium through Cornell, really interesting. One component that we were there, and the international energy agencies had actually pointed out on stage one of the biggest needs in the nuclear sector currently is those traditional developers that you see in renewables, that you see in oil and gas. That development field is not set up within the nuclear sector right now. Right now, it's equivalent to having one manufacturer, an EPC, multiple parties. Nobody wants, to be able to take on all of the risks. There's way too much risk, and nobody's managing, these aspects. So lots of opportunities, nearly 90 different designs of technology. So much of different technology. There's going to be some winners, lots of losers, but at the same time, this is an innovative field. It's top notch. You have the SMRs, the large facilities. So it's very exciting to see what is going on through here. And you've just enjoyed 5 minutes of the absolute best information in the clean tech sector. You got a snapshot of the Benoy and myself's week within the climate week and some of the chit chatter that we heard. Hope you enjoyed it. And make sure you give us 5 stars, 5 likes, and leave a good comment. Thank you.